Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. This is a quote I saw some time ago on the Daily Stoic Instagram channel, and it fits very good to the situation that I'm in my life right now. And it's not really that it fits very well. I think that it is absolutely necessary in the situation that I'm in right now. I feel very stressed out and anxious about a lot of things at the moment and over the last few days and weeks. But the things that I feel stressed about, I don't even want to name them. They are all big things I can't really do anything about, and also, and that's worse, things that don't really affect my life right now. They are things that might affect my life in the future, but the future isn't real. It's just an imaginary negative future that I, imagine in my head. And so, when I think about, or the way that I often think about changing my life, is I don't think about myself doing something differently. Sometimes I do, but not often. Especially for the big changes, I often think about a different version of myself. A version of myself that does things better. And in this case, I think about a version of myself, or I imagine a version of myself that not only does things better, it also does things in a more calm manner. And this other version of myself that I can imagine also enjoys the journey more. And this is hard to explain, or maybe I'm just not good at explaining it. But in a sense, I feel like the mental shift that I may need to make is I need to take a step back and basically give less of a fuck about my life. Like I have to abandon all the thoughts about the future and only take the steps that I can take right now in a calm manner. And so what I'm just realizing right now, the problem with many, or the root cause for many of the internal problems that I have, is that I want to take small steps and I want to take them in a calm way. And so these small steps, they only create small results, and really the results are arguably that small that when I look back at the day, there's basically zero result. And so the only way that I can imagine or that I can conceptualize me reaching any kind of significant goal through the steps that I'm taking and through the steps that I feel I am capable, through the steps that I feel that I'm capable of taking right now, is by essentially extrapolating these steps as habits over long periods of time. So for example, with even this, oh my god, It's late in the evening. I got up early today and I should be in bed right now, but instead I'm doing this video, so that's why I am messing up words even more than usual. So what I wanted to say was the steps that I'm taking, like making these YouTube videos, they are not really sufficient to do anything in my life right now. But when I think about myself sitting down and recording 30 minutes of YouTube videos, so what I do every day is I try to make one 15-minute video that I upload. That's just kind of the idea that I got in my head, and I'm just going with it. But I do 2 takes every day, so that I do essentially 30 minutes of talking to the camera, and my hope is that through talking to the camera for 30 minutes each day, that I get one, better at talking to the camera, and so better at talking to a camera in general, then 2, better at talking in general, and also 3, that maybe my English gets better, because I mean, I can't really judge it, but it's probably quite bad. I mean, I arguably should be making German videos. I'm from Germany, but fuck it. So yeah, but what I wanted to say is making these videos is there's not really any kind of improvement that I make through making this video today. But when I think about making this kind of video, not making this kind of video, but making videos every single day, and then adding improvements to these videos little by little over time, and then doing that for 30 years, for example, I can really imagine myself making some quite some good videos, and therefore also making some progress with the general stats on YouTube over time. But yeah, but the thing is, this is when I do this, I think positively about the future, but I still think about the future, and I think the main goal is to be more focused on the present. Well, that's kind of cliche. I think that thinking positively about the future is still, and I might be wrong with this line of thought, but I think thinking positively about the future is still thinking about the future, and so therefore it opens the door for thinking negatively about the future, because I think it's a small step from thinking about the future to thinking about the future in a negative way. But yeah, and so I think that that's another thought that's quite interesting, I think, is that it's not that interesting, but anyways, let's just stick to the example of doing YouTube for 30 years. So when I do YouTube videos, when I make a YouTube video every day for 30 days, the results are basically 0. When I make a YouTube video every day for 30 years, then I might actually get very great results. But in order for me to get great results in order for me to even be able to make YouTube videos for the next 30 years, a lot of outside things have to be stable. So, for example, YouTube has to keep existing, YouTube has to stay relevant, and there can be like no major drama. No, drama is not. There can be no major catastrophes in my life that keep me from properly making these videos. And those are things that are out of my control completely. And so, I mean, the proper way then would be to simply push harder right now. But what I feel right now, and I mean, this could just be another form of coping, but what I feel right now is that when I try to, it's not even when I try to push too hard, but when I try to think too hard about how I could push harder, I just end up in like endless thought spirals, and then that's even worse than just taking small and calm actions today that might not have an immediate effect, but that will have a great effect accumulated over time. And so that's kind of what I try to do. I try to just take small actions and then improve steadily at a slow pace. Yeah, and I mean, I think and this approach actually calms my mind, and I believe, and I might be wrong with this again, but I believe that if I keep doing this, I might be able to gain more clarity on what the hard things that I avoid actually are. And then once you have a calm mind and you have clarity on the specific steps that you avoid taking, it's not that hard anymore to take those specific steps right now instead of um, and to stop postponing them into the future. But yeah, but what I actually wanted to talk about was, and what the title of this video refers to, is that I can hardly access this calm and peaceful state of mind normally, and I can't really deal with the risk that I talked about, with the risk of my actions only really yielding the results that I want over let's say a 30-year time span, and a lot of things could happen over that 30-year time span. And so the attitude that I take is just that, what if I died today? Or no, it's not even like, what if I die today? It's different. It's I just pretend that I died today, and then that would mean that every day after today is just a bonus. And when it's just a bonus, it's like you don't have any expectations on the future or on what you do. You simply do the best thing that you can think about right now. And so the small actions that I do take, that I try to take, they are the best good thing that I can think of doing. And yeah, and so I think that really this attitude of pretending that you died yesterday, let's say, or that you die today or right now, that you're dead. Oh my god, I fumbled this again. Pretending that you died today, let's say, and that every day after today is just a bonus. I think it can be a very powerful mindset shift. And I think it can be you can live an incredibly happy life without any fear or anxiety if you can, or I think I could live a very happy life without fear or anxiety if I could truly internalize this attitude. but I don't know how to do that. But anyways, that's it for today.